Hello everyone, this is Alex, Ukrainian civilian. Today is Tuesday, March 15th, and I'm planning to show you more information about Ukraine, and this video will consist of two parts. In the first one, I will provide you with some recent analytics about the situation in Ukraine, about the front line, and my personal activity, so there would be some lame amateur videos, and in the second part I'm planning to share more information for people who want to find out more about Russian bots and Putinists that try to share their propaganda narratives on Western media, in Western resources, like I faced it recently on 9gag. So let's start with analytics. So as always, you can see the map done by Nathan Ruser, so it's not mine personal analytics. He decided to change his methodology because the idea of warm corridors caused a lot of speculations and discussions, so he made it in a little bit more classic way. However, we still need to keep in mind that Russians don't control all the territory they captured. Right now, at the moment, there is no significant changes from March 12th. Of course, Russian troops try to surround Kiev, as they say, and you can see there are on the west of Kiev and on the east of Kiev. However, these troops are paralyzed because they don't have enough fuel, they don't have enough supplies, and their rear columns are still hit by Ukrainian forces. This being said, there are still two main, let's say, problem cases or problem directions. The first one is Mariupol. In accordance with this map and in accordance with my information, it is almost completely surrounded by Russian troops. Russians continue to bomb Mariupol. There are a lot of death cases among civilians, more than 2,000 right now, and we cannot prove it, or we cannot, I don't know, unprove it, so we need to wait until our forces will free Mariupol from this surrounding. Russian troops tried to move around Mykolaiv. They shot some civilian buildings. However, it didn't give them any advantage right now. They tried to move to Odessa, the biggest port in Ukraine. Our troops there wait them for a long time, so let's see how it goes. What else? I'm still safe. It's quite loud right now in my city because our troops are warming up frozen Russian soldiers on the north direction. However, the city is safe. Everything is fine. I have food. I have everything I need. So that's all. For now, I will add a couple of video fragments, video footages that I have in order to share my personal experiences, and then I will move to the second part of this video. So, another footage of me doing purchase of fresh food for our soldiers. As you can see, I finally did my haircut. So this is a piece of what we buy every 3 days, so everything is humble. However, I continue working. I will continue supplying kitchens that cook food for our soldiers. Also, I will continue helping our neighbors by purchasing food for them. And it's sunny, it's +3 in Kiev. A little bit later you will see a photo of the living building that was shot by Russian artillery. I will make a photo for you, so it's not from internet. It would be my personal, or maybe I will record the video. Here you can see how we go in our car back to our city. I cut off the original sound because it's very windy. At the same time, you would be able to see this particular military object that was shot by Russian artillery yesterday at the morning. I think you realize why I always publicly try to humiliate Russian bots or Russian people that support Putin, because this is one personal experience. This is how I saw the result of Russian high-tech, accurate weapons. This building is completely civilian. It is the first building in this district, so basically that's why it was hit, because again Russian missed. Right now I'd like to move to the second part of my video. It would be about Russian trolls, Russian bots, and Putinists, Russian people that support Putin in his activity. I'd like to share some most common Russian propaganda narratives and how you may react. Basically, it's a counter-propaganda video, so it's your choice to believe it or not. But again, I hope you understand I'm just a civilian, and you may trust me in some particular things. Let's start with Russian propaganda in general. I like very much a quote of James Madison that if tyranny and oppression come to this land, it will be in the guise of fighting a foreign enemy. It works very good for Russians because whenever some internal crisis comes up, they start looking for external enemies. It was Moldova in 1993. It was Georgia in 2008. And there was Crimea in 2014. And right now we also have a war conflict, as many Western media continues to call it. So we have a Russian-Ukrainian war right now. So the main Russian propaganda narrative that you may face anywhere is Ukraine is a part of Russia, Ukrainians are similar to Russians, Maidan 2014 is kind of coup or revolution. You may find a lot of information about Donbass conflict, about Minsk treaties, about the protection of Russians by Russia. You can find a lot of information that Ukraine is led by Nazis and the population of Ukraine is misinformed. And of course, you may saw a lot of information that the Russian army is almighty, huge, and it has high-tech weapons. So let's go step by step, and I will tell you more about these narratives, how you should react, how you will see why we react in this or other way. So it may help you to understand these internet battles better. So the first narrative that Ukraine is a part of Russia. Yes, we particularly, our country, our land was a part of Russian Empire, then USSR for a long time. However, Ukraine is an independent state. We declared our independence in 1991, and for 30 plus years we are an independent state. No matter what history says, because history saw a lot of examples of the creation of national states. So some Russians may use arguments like it's our land, Crimea was given to Ukraine by Khrushchev, whatever else. The counter arguments are very simple. Russia and Ukraine completely demarcated Ukrainian borders 12 years ago. So Russia agreed to that our borders at this time were official and they were proven by themselves. So basically all their activities in the future means that Russia never never does what they say basically. They will aggressively attack any country at its borders. Ukrainians are similar to Russians. It's particularly true because we have a lot of similarities. We are both Slavic people. We grew up together, I mean, as nations, as people, so we have a lot of relatives in Russia, and Russians have a lot of relatives here in Ukraine, and their typical arguments are Ukrainians speak Russian a lot. A lot of culture is common, and a lot of Ukrainians want to go back to Russia. So the real situation is that despite the numerous attempts of Russia, imperial government, USSR government to Russify Ukraine to make it Russian-speaking country, we still have and we nurture our own language, our culture and history. In these photos, you can just simply see the difference between national customs of Ukraine's above and Russia below. So basically, you can see even difference in colors. Maidan 2014, a coup, revolution, manipulation by the United States, whatever else. So it's false. I already discussed this topic in my first video about the origins of this conflict. However, I will again repeat. The Maidan in 2014 was a national movement against the decisions of former President Viktor Yanukovych. He decided to cancel the agreement with European Union, and active part of population decided to protest. Initially it was quite peaceful, then we gathered more and more people on the central square of Kiev. It's called Maidan Nezalezhnosti, that's why it's Maidan. And it evolved in a huge armed protest, basically. Most of deaths were caused by armed police. So basically, Russian arguments are US managed this coup. False. Nazis ran this revolution. False. Russian-speaking people were killed. False, because a lot of Russian-speaking people were there. And I'm also a Russian-speaking Ukrainian. I was there. So, counter-arguments are very simple. Maidan was a people reaction to actions of former president. It's an internal business of Ukraine. How dare you to dictate your will? And most of deaths were caused because of use of weapons by police there. Let's again talk about the Donbass conflict. Again, I already discussed this in my first video, and this is a very difficult topic because the Donbass conflict is a hybrid conflict warmed up by Russia for 8 years. But I like to go through main narratives. First of all, Russian arguments: 14,000 deaths, mostly civilians. Nazis wanted to eliminate Russian-speaking people. Russian-speaking people were killed. So all of this is false. Because first of all, the number of 14,000 people includes losses both civilian and military. The second thing, it's an internal conflict that might be solved very quickly if Russia doesn't supply separatists with weapons, and if Russia haven't participated in 2014 in Debaltsevo and Ilovaisk. So one of my favorite counter-arguments is that Azov, this Nazi battalion, mostly consists of Russian-speaking locals. Yes, basically from Lugansk and Donetsk region. So basically, how they can fight against Russian initiative if they're okay with it. And of course, my most beloved argument is Chechnya. You can Google about this, but in general, there were two wars in Chechnya. They were claimed as internal conflicts. Only for 2 years of Second Chechnya War, there were over 25,000 of civilian losses. Some sources say there may be up to 200,000 civilians died in this war. So I never understand how Russia can dare to talk about Donbass if they have Chechnya. Minsk treaties. When Russians say if we didn't do something in accordance with Minsk treaties, it's partially truth. So first of all, they use arguments like Ukraine didn't implement it, Ukraine always broke the ceasefire, Putin wanted a peaceful solution. Unfortunately, the truth is the next. First of all, Minsk treaties were signed in 2015 in order to protect Ukrainian army against aggressive actions of Russian army that were masked as separatists in Donbass. The second thing is Ukraine always tried to keep ceasefire. Of course, this is a hybrid conflict and both parties will tell the same. Yes, we always try to keep ceasefire. The other party broke it. So you will never find truth about how it happened, and I will never. However, it's an internal conflict, like I don't know, Ireland for British. I don't know, maybe Yugoslavia, etc. So, and the last thing that is very important to me, I understand that we didn't implement it even under the pressure of European countries. The Minsk treaties mean the ruination of our state. If we integrate these two regions with separatists, it means that we will have no choice in our external policy. Russia protects Russians in this war. This is an absolute false. Because Russians always use arguments like Russia wants to protect people republics, Ukraine wanted to attack Russia, people republics, Belarus, etc. So it's not true because there is one simple counter-argument. If Russia is so worried about Russian-speaking people on Donbass, why the government of Russia hasn't adopted and transferred all people to Russia? In general, Russia faces a huge lack of human resources. And those people would be a very good particular upgrade for their economy. But this didn't happen because Russia is only interested in territories and Muppet countries. Also, there are arguments like why Russia sent weapons instead of economic assistance and humanitarian assistance, and why before the February 2022, Russia gathered 175,000 soldiers around the Ukrainian border. Is it kind of peaceful approach? I don't think so. Nazis and Ukrainian propaganda. So right now on 9gag, where I sit in this chat, I face a lot of arguments from Russians, from Putinists, like Azovs are Nazis. Ukraine is led by a bunch of Nazis, and Ukrainians will stop supporting this resistance if just the propaganda is gone. So first of all, of course, there is Ukrainian propaganda. Of course, we try to enlighten some awful things in order to raise the moral of everyone. So it's normal, actually. However, I would like to go through these particular statements. First of all, Azov is not a Nazi battalion. This is a nationalistic battalion with multinational squad. They have a lot of Caucasian people, Muslims, I don't know, Jews, etc. And all they are focused on the target of eliminating Russian presence in Donbass. So I'm not thinking it's Nazi because every single country have neo-Nazis. Some right nationalistic parties are present in German parliament, in Hungarian parliament, and basically those nationalists don't have any presence in our parliament or government. It's a small part of our society because it's diverse. And I'd like to state one important thing. This war is online. Everyone can see what Russians do to our cities. And basically, switching off TV won't help them because Kherson, Melitopol, Berdiansk are still full of patriotic Ukrainians that completely to resist in non-aggressive way by doing marches, using Ukrainian flags, etc. And the last thing, Russian army is almighty. It's complete false. Because always Russians say we have many tanks and aircrafts, we have 1 million people in our army, we can bomb cities to the ground, etc. So the first thing is that Russia already lost with optimistic forecast more people than in 10 years in Afghanistan in 70s. We all can see burning columns of Russian technique. That's not fakes, that's not I don't some kind of imagination, that's real. Russians already bombed Kharkiv, Mariupol, and many other cities. They I know they occasionally or not occasionally or consciously they bomb civil objects. A lot of civilians died. I'm talking about this quite calmly because it's already the real. It's let's say it's our reality. I can see it every day. I can die every day if something happens, goes wrong, and some rocket hits my house. I will die. So basically, I do not fear to die. I just want to do it in a stupid way. So, and the last important thing about the danger of nuclear weapons of Russians, I'd like to share one important thing. Plutonium, let's say plutonium part of nuclear weapons should be replaced every 10 years. So, are you sure Russian nuclear weapons are still live, active, working? Because I'm not. That's all, folks. This meme is probably the best description for my activity. It ain't much, but it's honest work, so I try to be a source of personal opinion regarding the situation in Ukraine. Please subscribe. Please follow me if you want to get more information from a local Ukrainian civilian. I will try to do my best to provide you with more information about our people, about our situation, about the front line. I hope that we will win soon. I hope we will not lose a lot of people because this war is not an easy walk. It's full of tears and blood. However, I truly believe in our win. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you so much for following me. Let's keep in touch and see you soon.